let's get it.
And then item number 57, the airport terminal design.
52.
52, and the last one is 57.
Well, we just, if they were all on there, they were tied, then they all go on as number 5.
We can add them, yes, ma'am. We can still add them as.
Yeah. 8, last 3 were 8, 52, and 57. They're- Well, it's because they tied. Well, it'll be okay.
It'll be okay because that's what we'll present to our legislators, that these are the top projects for legislative funding. But as the mayor stated, mayor and councilors, all of these projects will still be added to the ICIP database. In the resolution, we'll add these projects to the resolution, and of course, we'll prepare the legislative one-sheets for the session coming up in January.
Okay. So now, okay, everybody ready? Yes, so we're back in. Item 17, zoning case 22-025. It's a final plat for the second, pardon?
We need a motion.
We need a vote for the resolution.
Yes.
Oh,
And,
okay.
And also, Mr. Mayor, I don't believe we have a motion.
Okay, we need Councilman Perry has made a motion to approve it, that these be placed on the ICIP list. And we have, okay, Councilman Perry. And a second by Foster. Any further discussion?
Mr. Mayor, Councilor Perry can't hear us. Can you hold on just a minute?
Well, I heard him fine, didn't I?
Councilor Perry, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I am here.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. If the clerk could call the roll.
Councilor Best?
Yes.
Councilor Arnold?
Yes.
Councilor Halverson? Councilor Foster?
Yes.
Councilor Moore? Councilor Oropesa?
Yes.
Councilor Heldenbrand?
Yes.
Councilor Perry?
I need to understand what is the motion. I had absolutely no sound until they started saying yes.
The motion is that we have ranked all these projects, and this merely puts them on the top 5 projects. There are actually 8 because 3 of them tied for number 5, and those projects will all be ranked 1 through 5 on the to the legislators. There will be all 61 projects will go forward to a list for the legislators.
Thank you for the clarification, Mayor. My vote is yes.
Mayor, can we get clarification on who made the motion and who was the second?
Yes, the motion was made by Councilman Perry, seconded by Councilman Foster.
Okay, thank you. Councilor
Well,
Perry?
who made the motion? I'm sorry.
You did.
I didn't make a motion.
Move it. Yeah, okay, Councilman Corn moved it. We were giving you credit
Okay.
because you
All
said
right.
you were gonna make all the motions.
Not anymore, I'm not giving
So
it back.
Corn, see, now we've changed it to Councilman Corn. Now will you make the rest of the motions on the next bunch?
We're not done yet.
We're not.
Oh, I know.
So Councilor Perry, what is your vote?
My vote is yes if there is indeed a motion on the table. Yes.
There is.
Okay.
Councilor Corn? Motion passes 9-0, with Counselor Corn making the motion and Counselor Foster as second.
Okay,
Mr. Mayor, before you move forward, it is 1:30 in the morning where I am, and we have a big day with a wedding tomorrow with my son and the activity. So I'm going to dismiss myself at this time. Y'all have a good evening. We'll talk to y'all soon.
okay, now, who do we want to assign to be Councilman Perry to make the rest of the motions? Who gets a short straw? Oh, you want to make the motions? Okay, so item 17, zoning case 22-025, final plat for Second and Sycamore subdivision.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to consider approval of zoning case 22-025, final plat for Second and Sycamore subdivision to consolidate 8 lots into one, vacate 15-foot alley running east to west, vacate 20 stub alley on north end of property, relocate utilities, create additional right-of-way on North Sequoia Avenue at 2509 and 2515 West 2nd Street, 206-212 North Sequoia Avenue, 200 block of North Sycamore Avenue, and 2606 West 3rd Street.
Have a motion by Council Lady Best and a second by Councilman Foster. For this is the Allsup store on that corner for those that would like. Any discussion? Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak to any of these zoning issues? Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak to any of these zoning issues or? Okay, all right, seeing none, we have a motion on the floor for the zoning case number 22-025, the zoning case at the corner of Sycamore and 2nd Street. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we can do a voice vote on these. So all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes 8 in the affirmative. Or excuse me, is there 8 left? Yes, 8 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. Next, item 18 has been withdrawn. Item 19 is to consider the removal of, to reduce the fees for 50% for a new watering service and the frontage fees for a building built at 1707 South Beach for Habitat Humanity. The new fee would be $1,907.24.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
That's, okay, thank you, Councilman. Council Lady Best has made the motion, seconded by Councilman Foster, right? Is there any discussion? Anyone in the audience? Does everybody remember this discussion that we had? Does anybody have any questions on it? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that passes unanimous. Next.
Thank you. No. See that?
No, we had it all done.
Like me to make the motion?
Oh, you were opposed? Yep. Okay, well, excuse me, 7-1.
One, please.
The one was Councilman Hildebrand.
Okay,
Okay, now item number
20.
20 is to consider the ratifying a change order for project ITB 22-015, the RAC waterline expansion in the amount of $253,000, which includes gross receipts tax of 7.7%.
All motion.
Council Lady Best makes the motion, seconded by Council Lady Arnold. Is there any discussion? Yep. Councilman Corn? Okay.
Jason told us it was 1:30. We're tired.
Page 172.
Where's this $250,000 coming from?
Mr. Mayor and Councilor Corn, the funding for this project is coming out of the county's state appropriation money that they received. There were $2 million. The
Oh, this
original
is
project,
this is the project at the air
Southeast
center.
Water Line project, that's correct.
Never mind. I'm sorry. It's 11:30, so I'm a little slower than I normally am.
And we've already made the county aware, so once the council approves it, tomorrow we'll be submitting the paperwork so they can submit the notice of obligation for this portion of the grant money.
So, is there any further discussions? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? By a vote of 8 in the affirmative, none in the negative, item 20 is passed. Next, we have consideration, item 21, consider ratifying the change order for PO number 222-01302 to Sandbar Construction for $52,000 to change it from $52,000 to $89,000 for various paving projects, various pavement marking works.
I make the motion.
So Councilman Best makes the motion, seconded by Councilman Foster. Is there any discussion? See, Councilman Corn,
Mr. Chairman, same question.
where's the additional money come from on this?
I just
37,000.
I was just seeing if he was still awake back there.
I'm still awake.
Okay, good. So where's this extra?
So I'm here. You still want me to answer the question? Because this did pass finance and the budget.
Where did, I can't remember.
Yeah, and then,
It's coming out of your budget?
yeah, road fund.
Okay, very good. I'm done.
It was in the budget. Okay, any further questions? Go back to sleep.
Thank you. I need my nightcap first.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By a vote of 8-0, it is passed. Okay, consider item 22, consider approval of Armstrong Consultants Task Force Order F for an expenditure of $725,000, including GRT, for design and construction and engineering services. And
Mr. Mayor, I make that motion.
yes, we have Councilman Hildebrand moves to approve. Second by Councilman Foster. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By a vote of 8, in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. Item 22, Armstrong Consultants Task Force Task Order for expenditure has been approved. Next, we have item 23 for the award of the Holly Loop Drainage Project to Abraham's Construction of Albuquerque in the amount of $165,332 and some cents for the Holly Loop. Councilman,
I make
How-
the motion.
Councilman Best
Second.
makes a motion. Councilman Halverson seconds. Is there everybody remember Holly Loop? Any discussion on Holly Loop? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By a vote of 8, in the affirmative, none in the negative. Item 23 is duly passed. Next, we have the award of the cost estimate by Holloway Construction for the Roswell Convention Center fence. And so we have that item here. Hopefully if this passes, then everybody else didn't need to put their dots on the one downstairs. And this money was coming out of the bed tax, as I recall. Lodger's tax or lodger's tax? So, okay, Chair will entertain a motion for the approval of the project, item 24, the Roswell Convention Center courtyard fence.
That's my motion, Mr. Mayor, so made.
So, Mr. Councilman Corn made the motion, seconded by Councilman Foster. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying, oh, excuse me, go ahead. Councilman,
Mr. Mayor, thank you. We had discussed this quite lengthy in the Finance Committee, and this originally came to us wanting to use the American Rescue Funds, and the discussions for those counselors that were not there was based upon the ranking of items that needed to be completed over at the convention center. And if I believe this was item number 4, and there's $900,000 sitting in the convention center bed fund, which is unallocated at this point in time, and there were other items on that list that were ranked more important by city staff, and that's why this thing came to committee or to council on a 2-2. So I just want to make the rest of the councilors aware of why it came to council without recommendation. I yield.
thank you very much, Councilor Halverson. Hildebrand, sorry. Councilman Corn, do you have any other comments?
No,
Okay,
we did 2 votes on it, and
Yeah.
well, actually, we just did 1, and under the rules we were operating under, I guess we're still operating under, because we didn't amend it. That was it. It was a 2-2 vote on a do pass, so it comes as a non-rec under the
Okay.
present rules.
okay, so all those in favor of approving the, excuse me,
Well, we,
yes, Councilman.
so where is the money coming from? If it indeed is
From the
passed?
bed tax, bed tax.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so all those in favor of Holloway Construction getting the contract to fix the Roswell Convention Center courtyard fence, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I,
Whoop, well, we better call the roll.
Counselor Best?
Yes.
Counselor Arnold?
Yes.
Counselor Halverson? Yes. Counselor Foster?
Yes.
Counselor Moore? Counselor Oropesa?
no,
Counselor Hildenbrand? No. Counselor Corn? Motion passes 5-3.
I could have tied it up, made the motion.
Okay, so item 24 is passed by a vote of 5 in the affirmative, 3 in the negative. Next, we have the approval for the Roswell for the cost estimate for the purchase order of services by Molson Corbin and Associates for the Roswell Visitor Center expansion project. It's from the current budget capital funding of $89,000. Councilman Corn.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that we spend $89,772.50 out of the capital outlay money City of Roswell's put up for the visitor center.
Okay, we have a motion for approval of the expansion of the project at the Roswell Visitor Center from Councilman Corn, seconded by Council Lady Moore. We have any comments? Council Lady Halverson.
So, this is something to consider for the future. I've had so many constituents in the downtown merchants. They're having a real problem with the visitor center competing with them. So there's nothing to do about it tonight, but you may want to consider setting up a meeting, and I would appreciate it if you did, with the downtown merchants, so we can work with them, so we're not competing with them, but we're just, making everything better downtown. I understand you want to sell items, but we've got to stop competing, so let's just, thank you.
Will do.
Thank you. Any further comments? Okay, all those in favor of the expansion of the Roswell Visitor Center, $89,000, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
By a vote of 7-1, the motion has passed. Next, we have the approval from Zollers Incorporated for a contract with the Roswell Museum for renovation services. Councilman Corn
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
for a motion.
We adopt
We have a motion to adopt by Councilman Corn, a second by
Second.
Councilman Halverson. And yes, and now we will have Ms. Brooks, you've been waited all night. You need to say something.
Good evening.
Thank you. That's explained very well.
Thank you. I don't know if you have any questions. I've gone over this a few times, mostly with General Services, but I did take it to Finance Committee because we didn't have a quorum for General Services at that time. But we have $709,000 available through state appropriations towards this project, and this is just the planning and design phase, inclusive of a master plan as well, which will help coordinate not only this project, but future phases of renovations over the next 10 plus years. So make sure that everything's kind of in alignment. The contract services total is $240,391, and Hewitt Zollers is an architect firm that's been vetted through the engineering and architect process that we went through with the city a number of months ago, back in December, I think it was. And I've worked with them previously on concept designs. And I had mentioned as well that these are not necessarily the surface treatments. This is not exactly how our the design is going to look. That's why we're going through the planning and design phase and developing the engineering schematic designs. But it just kind of gives us an idea how we could possibly lay out the space. And for this first phase, it is just for moving the store and evaluating and updating the lobby and possibly some facade improvements, again, inclusive of the master plan as well. And this is the summary again. And then also helping with construction contract administration and getting updated construction estimates. And then just FYI, future renovations, because I like to keep things on the radar, is that we will want to put something in that museum store space that's currently in the back that will be vacated by this project. And so that would be the Family Discovery Center that we've talked about for a few years with ongoing interactive family activities. And so that would be phase 2, which is funding dependent. And then as a part of that, I would love to include an outdoor science garden, but that's optional. And then for phase 3, we've talked about this as well, that we're running out of collection storage. And so looking further into the future, that we do need to do some sort of expansion and take care of our collection. And there's a few different directions we can go with that. And again, the master plan will help with that process. And then as a part of that, currently we're doing some of our collection storage on our WPA stage. So I'd love to uncover that, which is in our Founders Gallery. And if you haven't had a tour with me yet, love to give you one and can show you that stage as it currently exists. That's covered up. I think that's all that I have, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So we have, is there any further discussion? Seeing none, then I would, Chair would entertain or would accept a motion for the Roswell Museum Services. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By a vote of 8, affirmative, none in the negative. Ms. Brooks, your project has passed.
Thank you very much.
Next, we have consider the purchase of warehouse inventory from 4 separate vendors for maintenance supplies that we need for the city's water infrastructure. There's 4 different vendors, and I think the total cost was $400,000. Representative, or Councilman Corn.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is just exactly what you said, to build our inventory back up over the years. We use that, it gets built out wherever it's appropriate. But $403,209.16 from Ferguson Waterworks, Baker Utility, Benchmark Supply, and Core and Main.
Have a motion for approval. Item 27, is there a second? Second by Councilman Foster. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By a vote of 8, affirmative, none in the negative, that is passed. And next we have department reports.
They're dead. They died.
Here.
They left.
Is there no departments, boards, and commissions reports? We have none. And so next we'll have public participation. Could all the public please stand up? Thank you very much for your participation this evening. Next, we have future agenda items. I don't see any. We have Mr. City Manager, would you care to report?
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, City Council.
That's enough. Let's go.
Let me say thank you for your service tonight. I know it's tough and I know it's hard being away from family in order to get that done. We did some really good work. I want to personally and publicly thank Mr. Parker Patterson for his service with the city. I just want to make sure he's aware of my appreciation for the work he has done. And the last thing is just a reminder, next Tuesday in the convention center is an animal service meeting, public meeting with the concerned citizens with animal services. Thursday, we will have a public forum in this room at 5:30. So that'll be kind of a general topic, public forum facilitated by myself. And as you are aware in the emails and everything, we are looking at Monday, 5 p.m. on the 29th for a workshop of the City Council to discuss the smart meter system and the 70/30 cost recovery. Mr. Mayor, again, thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you all very much. Thanks everybody for being here, even for our truly reporter over there, been sitting over there in that chair all day. Thank you all for coming, and the staff, thank you very much. I would just point out on that workshop that we're gonna have on the animals, I hope that everybody this is a thing about being constructive and about seeing what we have to do in that facility to bring it up to standards. We still have a number of animals that are there, and we need to address all that. So bring it all up and let's try to keep it as constructive so we can go forward. Some of the conditions in that facility do need to be fixed. You can't have refrigerated air because of kennel cough, but you also have a lot of, there's not enough air movement through those facilities in the summer.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
there's an important special finance meeting Monday afternoon, and we're gonna talk about the water department and what's really going on out there. Just
Friday
thought I'd
afternoon,
announce that.
1 o'clock, 2 o'clock? On Friday? Oh, Monday, okay. Okay, so we have a
Monday.
meeting on Friday. Anything else to come before us? Thank you all very much. We're adjourned. Thank you.